I've never met a person in my life who did not love How to Train Your Dragon. Come on!
As an actor, it's not often you get to be a part of something that so many people love and cherish. The characters, the dragons, and the journey they all go on, and it's so beautiful.
Such an amazing world, and that's something I think that's translated really beautifully onto screen. It's insane.
Those themes of friendship and loyalty are incredible to watch and done in such an entertaining way. All right, buddy.
Okay, here we go. And action.
I love the animated movies, and now we've made the live action. Every journey that we've taken on How to Train Your Dragon begins with Dean Dubois.
We completed the animated trilogy in 2019. So that was my send-off to these characters and this world. Then suddenly I get a phone call from the head of Universal saying, we're looking at How to Train Your Dragon as a potential live-action reimagining. Immediately I thought, I have such love for these characters and this world. I'm squealing inside because this is the world that we built. The idea that anyone might want to reimagine it in live action was, very exciting to me because I felt like I had something to bring to it.
Action!
I had a deep understanding of what the underpinnings of this story are.
Figure out which side you're on.
Even though I hadn't made a live action film, I had been wanting to for many years. So it was both daunting and exciting. I volunteered myself. They took a chance on me, and I feel incredibly fortunate. Yeah! I never formally went to film school for live action. Everything I know about it is from watching behind-the-scenes documentaries. And so it's become a habit of mine to just record everything as it's happening. And with everyone who's come in, they've dropped the sword, so don't be worried if you do it. But I think try to balance it on the anvil. Mason and Nick are like, let me out there. I can't wait. I'm merging from the mist. Hopefully, you get to kind of get a real sense of how one of these is made and the amount of work that goes into it.
This is Dean's baby. His understanding of this world and the characters is to him and his own, and he's incredible watching him work and watching the wheels turn in his head.
We're going to flip around in through the chain enclosure. Allow us to go.
It's a story about Dean. Dean grew up a quiet kid in Canada who loved to draw, surrounded by giant Vikings. And that's Hiccup's story. I'm ready.
For me, I immediately gravitated toward Cressida Cowell's first book, a story of a young protagonist who's an oddball in his world.
Yeah, I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow.
There's a great wish fulfillment in the idea that you could go from a nobody to somebody of great consequence. Paired with this amazing creature that is not only your best friend and your protector, but something that needs you as well.
It is aspirational in that it's the story of connection and how this young boy actually connects to our dragons and in so doing changes the world. Kind of has something for everyone.
Take one.
How to Train Your Dragon is about Vikings on the island of Berk.
Berk is where all the great Vikings and dragon slayers live. It's a chaotic village where dragon fighting and slaying is what you need to do to be a man, to be a Viking.
They're training young recruits in what is called the Trial of Flame to kill dragons.
Don't know if I'm fully qualified, but they believe me.
Sorry.
There's lots of lovely dragons in the Trial of Flame.
They've already been captured and are being used to train our recruits. The gruesome Grunkle, the two-headed hideous Zippleback, the monstrous Nightmare.
First of all, deeply terrifying.
I have a very soft spot for terrible terror. Sort of this big.
The deadly Natter, which is a really curious but dangerous animal.
All the recruits care about the fight against dragons. They know that they are the successors to their parents and that they will be kind of the next step to fight the fight.
In a world where you are evaluated based on things like strength and physical prowess, Hiccup is sort of always the outsider looking in.
He's such an ambitious kid. He wants to be a Viking. He wants to fit in, especially with his dad being the leader of the village.
I see a dragon and I have to just kill it.
He's looking for validation in every corner most predominantly validation from his father.
I'll be back.
He thinks all he needs is the opportunity to kill a dragon. But in private, given the chance to do so, he realizes that in his heart, he doesn't have the ability to do it. He realizes he will never be that person that his father and his peers and his society want him to be. He has to evolve. He has to become something greater than himself. When the Hiccup meets Toothless, it opens up a new possibility where everything changes. If we were going to do a live-action reimagining of this story, do we take it in a completely different direction? Does it have the spirit of the animated film, but in execution it's very different? Or does it follow the animated story beat for beat?
That's it. Stick to the good stuff.
There was a decision to be made, a lane to be picked, and the lane that I picked ultimately was I thought, let's take what worked and embellish it in ways that are meaningful. So give more to the characters, deepen the relationships, bring the emotion out even further, because there's no point trying to recreate what our previous voice actors had done in the animated film. That would be sort of a fruitless task.
Look, bro, it's like looking in the mirror.
And so we went on a wide search and we met with so many different potential hiccups and asteroids. And it was a combination type of thing. We were looking for the right chemistry between actors who brought specificity to their character, who embodied the essence of who that character is, and kind of brought their own charms to it.
Are you actually insane, or do you just act that way?
Is there a third option? I love these movies so much, and when I got the audition, I didn't think I was going to get it, to be honest.
You did really great, and everyone was really excited to see the chemistry reads.
And when I got the chemistry read thing, I was like, oh, I get to meet Dean, the director, and I was like, oh, I just was excited to meet him because I'm a fan. And I just started gushing, and I was like, oh, I need to stop talking and shut my mouth.
Focus, Hiccup! You're not even trying!
He completely got the character because he grew up with How to Train Your Dragon. Hiccup was a character that he knew well, and he not only loved these stories, he just connected with that character. I suppose it's just one question, really, is would you like to play Hiccup in the movie?
Mom, do you hear that?
When I watched the animated movie as a kid, I related to Hiccup so much. He wants to become a Viking and fit in and, be like his dad. I just want to be one of you guys. But once he accepts he's different and he's not like the other Vikings, that's what makes Hiccup Hiccup.
He's such a brilliant Hiccup for a new generation to know and to love.
Oh, this is amazing! Please. Okay. Hi, Astrid.
Hi, Astrid. Hi.
One of my regrets with the animated movie is that we presented a cast of recruits that didn't have very much character development, primarily with Astrid, giving her a little bit more depth, understanding that she has worked really hard for the recognition she has gained. She knows that she's the best among them.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done, which in this case means wiping out the dragons for the good of everyone.
She has aspirations of becoming the chief one day, and I think Nico Parker played it beautifully.
If my younger self had known that one day I would be Astrid, I would have died. I can't even describe how thrilled I would have been. Something that I admire so much in her is that she is so kind of set in her ways in one sense and also completely willing for change. And I think that that's something that within the Vikings of Berk isn't particularly common, that ability to adapt. You have something I don't, something none of us have.
The character is both harsh and understanding and warm and funny in places, but just also capable and kick-ass. So I love the balance that she was able to bring.
Dean put together this incredible cast of young actors from Mason Thames and Nico Parker. If you say, what is the advantage of live action? It's things like I can bring my energy, I can bring my expression, I can bring so much more emotional complexity because so much is said when I'm just listening with these amazing young actors. They've killed hundreds of us!
And we've killed thousands of them!
A central character to the story is, of course, Stoic the Vast.
I cannot believe that I have been a part of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise since 2008. It makes me so proud to be a part of it and to have been a part of it. When Dean said, okay, we're doing live action, are you in? I was thinking, well, I'm the only actor that remains from the animated movie, so I felt this additional responsibility to kind of bring that energy from the old guard in the animated version and bring it to the forefront in the live action medium.
Gerard Butler's depiction of Stoic the Vast in the animated movie is just kind of iconic. That voice is so married with the character.
We can wipe out the devils for good.
Gerard's such an obvious choice for somebody who needs to be big and brash and commanding. He does that in a sense of sort of larger-than-life caricature.
Stop the fight!
The rush of him every day coming in and being stoic to the truest that stoic is. It's amazing having him come back. I think it gave everyone a kind of kick of energy.
He's the coolest dad ever, apart from when he's yelling at me.
Hiccup!
The character, not him himself.
Peanut.
I'm incredibly proud of the team of recruits that we've created.
Tough nut and rough nut are identical, even though they're clearly not.
What did you say?
Out of 10 of confidence, I've got a 10. Skill level, probably a 2.
I remember being a kid in primary school. As a kid, you just obsess over things, and let's say you like Pokemon, and someone asks you about Pokemon, and you're just gonna start blabbering about Pokemon.
Jaw strength 17, razor sharp fangs, armor 16.
Will you stop that?
And for me, that was kind of like the heart that I wanted for Fishlings. It's like, as soon as he gets the chance to talk about the things he loves, he'll just go crazy.
Don't worry though, I'm here for all of your dragon-related inquiries, okay?
We got 2 cameras on dollies with track. I was talking about the cameras.
Hello, I'm Gabriel. I'm playing Snotlout, who is, I think, the thinking man's hero.
Book of Dragons.
Why would I read words? Snotlout is brash, he's big, he's got like a killer instinct in his mind, but none of that sort of fits with how anything actually plays out.
This group of recruits are so wonderful on and off camera. Every single one of them is so kind and so generous. We've created this little family and little home away from home, and that really translates well on camera because it's in real life as well.
Just some of the banter you can expect working with us. Like,
Wow. The sun's out. It's a spectacular day. It's a little cold. And it is day 1 of principal photography. So we're here in our amazing set for the arena. We're all very excited. We've been building up to this moment for months and months and months, and it's the culmination of all this amazing work.
every time Nick would say his line and the gate would lift up.
Welcome to the Trial of Flame!
It was just astonishing.
Going into the arena for the first time, I remember Dean being like, really amp up how cool this is, and walking in, and we were like, we don't need to do that, it's really cool.
It's so much bigger from down here.
I don't think there's been a day where I haven't walked onto a set and just gone, oh my, wow, this is amazing. The scale of it is fantastic.
That's pretty incredible, the work that's been done here.
Being able to stand next to Dean as he walked into the arena for the first time, that began with the drawing he made and is now built and made manifest in real life, was mind-blowing.
It's one thing to sit there and draw or paint or even create an environment in a computer, but to be able to build it, and with the attention to craftsmanship and the love that goes into every detail, and to be able to walk around it, to be in that space, it really makes you feel like you are on the island of Berk.
Dean's sketches and his drawings were really helpful in the way that they explain the geography and how the Vikings lived, and this was really important to me when we were decorating the village.
They built a whole village with cliffs and longhouses on the top and the different shops and the blacksmith's workshop.
The village, I think it was 15, 20 houses. It really looks alive with the Vikings running around in chaos.
Experiencing those sets that then are dressed and are lit and have, torches on fire in the great hall. Prepare the boats!
I'm sitting in the Great Hall right now, and behind me you'll see some of the tapestries. The tapestries are the stories of the Vikings from the past.
Here in the center of our town, we have this mosaic which really describes the history of the Vikings.
I was asking Dean about Berk, and I'm like, what is your inspiration? What is your vision? And he was like, we have Berk and what it was in the animated series, but what we're doing is we're pulling from different people to make this diverse, bundling village of different cultures.
What's really fascinating is that in real life, there were tribes of Vikings, people traveling great distances to different places, intermingling.
As we did that research, we thought, what an opportunity to sort of broaden the world of the film and open it up. And rather than just talk about this specific group of Vikings, as far as the Vikings traveled, they brought the greatest warriors to the island of Berk.
Similarly, we also had the very best construction crew and all of the craftsmen and the set decoration. Just amazing to see the whole thing come together.
So there was this option that we were playing with, and then thought that this was actually good, nice.
Lindsay Pugh brought really exciting ideas to the table from the start. I loved what she had presented in terms of how we were going to bring a lot of charm to the costuming.
This fabulous movie that's got such heart, it's got such whimsy, it's got such character, that it was trying to find how real we wanted to make it within that construct.
I got there for the first costume fitting, and I put on his clothes and the apron. And I just kind of sat back, and they're like, "Dude, would you want to see what it looks like?" And I just turned in the mirror. I saw it, and I kind of got emotional. He was seeing me as one of my childhood heroes, and that was everything to me.
I love the costume, and I loved it from the first fitting. It's the most perfect way to suddenly feel like a new person. You get all that fake fur and leather.
My costume was so huge. I was wearing 90 pounds, often for 12 hours in a day.
All of the main characters, everything that they had, from buttons to shoes. We made something about 4,000 pieces. Then we have the armory department, who make all of the armor.
Dean wanted to look after the animation, and we knew where we wanted to go regarding most of the weapons as per cast members.
Our recruits watched them come on this journey from the very early days of casting, bringing them to Belfast, to training and stunts.
He spent like 2 or 3 weeks learning how to hold the weapons, learning how to fight.
I had a double-edged spear, which is like 6 feet long. I am 5'7" on a good day. So trying to twirl it was like trying to twirl the mast of a ship.
What was great about working with all the actors on this show, they just wanted to come in and train with us, work hard with us, and I was excited by that.
It was just like my own kind of rage room. I loved it.
This is the axe that you give Hiccup. We're hoping that he's going to have one that feels almost full weight, so it's super cumbersome for him.
Pain. Love it.
They created a sword for Stoic that the hilt itself is inscribed with the letters that spell Valka in Viking runes, which means that whenever he swings this sword, it's in retribution for the wife that he lost to a dragon. So I love all that thought and history. All of these things work together, the armory influencing the costuming influencing the armory.
Hiccup. All right, bud. We're gonna take this nice and slow.
The flight scenes themselves. No, it's incredible.
I would say probably the biggest key challenge is creating imagery that you would believe of a person riding a dragon. Not only did we have gimbals, we also had dragon animatronics built on top of those gimbals. So we had all of these axes of movement.
They built dragon bodies and heads that would, rise and dip and bank.
You ready?
That's not just, now it's the dragon. Now we're flying on a dragon. And dragon riding is to be experienced and to be handled. The stuff that I have seen looks incredible.
It was the only way we could think to do it, where we could have a character that looked like a jockey on a horse, being part of the movement. He's part of flying the dragon. He's not just there for the ride.
On the shoot days, obviously, it's fantastic to see the actors and the actresses up on top, moving around and getting the dynamic movement that they need. And it's really helped, I think, their character development and being able to sort of interact with Toothless.
We never talk about riding dragons in our movie. We talk about co-piloting with the dragon. Hiccup could never fly without Toothless.
It doesn't really get much more magical than that. Flight makes their relationship really special.
I remember we did one of the scenes from Test Drive, and they have these speakers so they can talk to everybody. And they put on Test Drive, and the music started playing.
No, it's not that, it's this.
Everything just changed. The old action, the song was playing, and I was on the dragon. That moment was so special and so magical.
Yeah, go baby!
The swooping score is so brilliant. I remember that magic of watching it for the first time, and I know how it feels to listen to the soundtrack even now.
This is the very scoring stage where John Powell and many of these same players recorded the score for How to Train Your Dragon 15 years ago. So the first call I made on this live-action reimagining was to John Powell.
In this version of How to Train Your Dragon, it's got mainly the same tone, but it's just expanded. So Test Drive had to be there, and it's even more epic. It still has the same groove, the same heavy guitars, same bagpipes, but it'll be a little grander.
Those scenes that you'd imagined or that you'd seen that you thought, oh, I cannot wait to see how they make this real.
Test Drive, for sure. I want to say, like, all the snarl out scenes, but that's not true. And it was about, like, the music and how that would, if they're going to take that on, and I was so excited to know that they were going to do that.
John, in the studio, he has the same challenge of how do you revisit something that is beloved, that people really respond to these tunes, and so he doesn't want to disappoint by omitting any of them. He's just finding a way of incorporating them to support the new elements of the story.
I hope it works for those people who saw the animated film and have grown up with it. But I also love the idea that people who have never seen the animated film will come to this afresh and see a story about a friendship that allows you to see the world differently.
Well, it's Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. We are here at the Pinewood Studios water tank, and we are filming the very last shot of the movie.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the picture of amazing.
I wouldn't know where to begin. It's such an incredible experience, and it's gone by so fast. I've tried to absorb it as much as I can. I mean, I'm so lucky and so fortunate. Getting to do this is a dream come true and an honor.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Dean said really early on, if you can create some wonder, then that lasts forever. This film is charged with heart and wonder.
Come on! Seeing this world come to life, it's breathtaking, and I expected a lot. The story and all that brings with it, I'm very, very happy and proud.
You get carried above all of the nonsense that you're trapped in. You get to fly and explore the world, meet amazing creatures, get into adventures. I'm so blown away by what we're able to achieve in terms of performance, the character that our actors are bringing, and just the sophisticated level of epic filmmaking.
Stick with me.
It's a wonder to be a part of, and I am thrilled.
הדרקון הראשון שלי בקולנוע, בדיבוב לעברית ובאנגלית.